Hello, and welcome to Centennial College at the library. Today we'll be talking about the big idea of plagiarism, or at least a part of it. We'll carry forward like this. We'll practice spotting the plagiarism, and we'll do it in the context of learning how to paraphrase well. And if you watch carefully and listen attentively, there's a prize at the end waiting for you. So let's get started. If you are starting to see a little too much red, or if Turnitin just is no longer your cup of tea, you've come to the right place. Let's learn on our own. We'll start by referring to a student example. In this example, the student used the internet to find an article that they wanted to incorporate into their own work. The article is something like this. It has to do with 4 large companies, including Sony and Sega, have claiming close to half of all relief from a culture-focused tax policy. Now let's add a little more context. The title of this article is Revealed: Global Video Games Giants Avoiding Millions in UK Tax. This article, it can be found in a publication called The Guardian. In our example, the student borrowed some information from the first paragraph and translated it into their own essay. Let's see how well they did. Let's see if practice really makes not too bad. Here is what the student came up with. A quick research immediately reveals Sony's gaming segment involving in tax evasion. A UK tax policy intended to boost the domestic video games industry has been used by some of the world's largest entertainment companies to avoid paying tens of millions of pounds in corporate tax, a Guardian investigation has found. Brackets, Oliver Holmes, comma, 2019, period. Now let's look a little closer. As you can see, the portion that I've highlighted in yellow is in fact a direct copy. And as we know, when we copy directly from another source, we must use quotation marks. Without quotation marks, this is in fact plagiarism. The student, had they handed it in, could face consequences such as having marks taken off or having failed the assignment altogether. A better approach, perhaps, is to use this part of the original text and transform it into a paraphrase. While a direct quote may work, it seems like there's too much material to quote, and it seems like the student might do a better job moving it into their own words. Below the highlighted yellow text is a second attempt. Let's read it together. It appears that Sony's gaming segment has had a hand in tax evasion. A brief news scan reveals that some of the top performing entertainment companies, including Sony, have exploited a UK tax loophole intended for aiding the domestic gaming industry in order to avoid paying large sums in corporate tax. Bracket, Holmes et al., period, comma, 2019, comma, para, period, 1. This new example of a paraphrase has taken the original wording and completely transformed it into the student's words, while preserving the essential idea. As you'll notice, the in-text citation, which is necessary in direct quoting and in paraphrasing, looks a little different. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's carry on. What does it mean to paraphrase? Well, if you're wondering this, the library has at your fingertips access to the Premier English Dictionary. We have access to the Oxford English Dictionary online. Let's take a minute to see what the Oxford English Dictionary has to say about paraphrasing. We'll migrate to the library's homepage, open up our e-resources tab, and try to find the Oxford English Dictionary. You can enter the name of the collection, in this case the OED, right here. You see towards the bottom of my screen, Oxford English Dictionary. Let's go in. And now, of course, you immediately come upon a login screen where you, as the student, will enter your MyCentennial credentials, and we will get direct access. This should only take a few seconds. Hope I've remembered everything correctly. Crossing our fingers, let's go. And here we are. We've arrived at the OED. Let's try a paraphrase and see what it comes up with. We can have a look at paraphrase as a noun or a verb. There are a couple of iterations before us. Let's go back to the screenshot I captured, and we'll read off my screen capture. Paraphrase, to express the meaning of a written or spoken passage or the words of an author or speaker using different words. Let's repeat that. Using different words. In other words, using your own words to achieve greater clarity, to render or translate freely. Thinking about what paraphrase means can also be done by thinking what it does not mean. Paraphrase does not mean rearranging words, replacing a few words, adding words, taking away a few words, or reversing the order of the original words. Paraphrase simply means exactly as the OED told us, using your own words, or more precisely, using different words and carrying forward the essential idea. Before we head off into the Wild West for your research, let's check out the library's online collections. Here's one way to begin. As we noticed earlier, the student was turning to the internet for information sources, and he or she picked up The Guardian. Would you believe it, but the library has access to The Guardian as well. And you don't have to look very far. Let's have a look and see. We'll return to our e-resources tab, in other words, the index to all of the library's online collections, and we'll have a look here. Actually, there might be an even better way to do this. Let's go to the library's homepage. We'll scroll down to another resource, and we'll open up the full text journal list. This will take us quickly to our source. As we mentioned, the student was looking for a copy of The Guardian, and we'll use the full text journal list first to see if the library has access and to see where the library has access. We search, and here it goes here, The Guardian. And you'll note it's available in several different locations, several different collections that the library has on hand. We can just begin searching for the article in question, Revealed, Global Videos, Games Giants Avoiding Millions in UK Tax. This search should take us directly to the article, and indeed it does. It takes us directly to the full text of the article. We've seamlessly transitioned to the Business Insights Global database, and we can now read the article just as though we were searching the internet. So to summarize to this point, the library offers you access to several thousand articles in a few hundred different collections. So let's return. Yes, as you can see, we have access to The Guardian and many thousands of other magazine and journal subscriptions. Now let's look at another aspect of the student's work. Once you've established the idea of creating a paraphrase, writing in your own words, and carrying forward the idea of the original sentence or paragraph, you will of course need a reference entry for the sources that you use. This is an example of the student's reference entry. And of course we can have a look and say to ourselves, there are a few mistakes going on here. I'll just highlight one at this time. No matter what kind of information source you're using, it's very important to check to make sure you have all the information. In this case, our article in The Guardian has been written by 3 authors and not simply by Mr. Holmes. So unfortunately, the student has missed out on a couple of the other authors. So let's carry forward and see what a new and improved reference entry looks like. Before getting there, of course, the library provides you, the student, with guidance on APA, including APA, the 7th edition, the new and improved, so to speak, edition of the American Psychological Association's publication on style. Let's have a look at this short library guide. We'll do that by returning to the library's homepage. We'll scroll down to this link here, Library Guides. It opens up several possibilities. We'll find guides by using the alphabetical list. We'll scroll down. Now, if you're still infatuated by APA, the 6th edition, we have access to that guide, a short guide for that resource as well. But we also have zipped ahead to the present, APA 7th edition. Open that up. Many things are available, which I cover in other videos, but let's have a look at this one particular feature. We'll choose an information source, such as articles, and we'll scroll down to find something that matches our own interest. How about this online journal article from a database? And we could read through the standard form and actual example, as well as in-text standard forms and examples. And now we'll click back to our presentation. As you can see, the example the student was working with was the magazine article from a website, which we also have available right here. And you can take advantage of the structure of an APA reference list entry, as well as in-text citation possibilities. Now here is a new look at how we can set the reference entry for this article. So far, as you can see, we've included all 3 authors with publication date information, followed by the title, the name of the publication in italics, and the particular web address, all double-spaced and indented to the side. Again, we've rethought our paraphrase, which is reproduced here, And as you can see, the in-text citation reflects the way of doing things in APA 7th edition. In this case, the source was the web source, and in APA 7th edition, if there are 3 or more authors, which there is in this case, we use the et al. Abbreviation. And because it is taken from a web source where there are no pages, we've resorted to using a short form paragraph. Let's carry on. While practice does indeed make not too bad, practice can also make perfect. So let's try another example. Let's zip back to some of our online article collections. We'll go back to the library's e-resources page. Should only take a second. E-resources, keep that in mind for the future. We'll open up a collection called Business Source Complete. You'll notice that in our example of accessing Business Source Complete, we went directly into the collection. No need to log in again. This is because once you've logged into one collection, switching or changing collections is seamless and doesn't require further logging in unless a period of time has elapsed. What we'll do here is we'll try to have a look at this article, Crafting the American Culture. And to give the database a heads up, we'll tell it to look only in the title fields among the thousands of articles within this collection. This will speed up our search and come right to the point. Here we go here, Crafting the American Culture, situated in a magazine called Beverage Industry. Let's jump straight to the full text. As you can see, you can read the complete text of the article on screen. You can also download it, and you can email it to yourself. And naturally, you can print it out if you like. Let's have a look at one segment. Beginning here, Crafting Diversity. We could read it on screen, or I could simply zip back to my presentation and we'll read it here. We'll read together this segment and we'll try to pull out the main idea or ideas in preparation for creating or crafting our own paraphrase. Crafting diversity. Craft beers often present unique flavors, ingredients, or brewing methods that can entice the ever flavor-conscious consumer. Nielsen's Cosmo says that the past year saw growth across nearly all flavor profiles in the craft segment. She highlights the commonly known craft flavors like coffee, chocolate, pumpkin, and lemon, vanilla, savory, and spice, horchata, cinnamon, cloves flavors, and citrus flavors, which have had several new entrants in the grapefruit space. She adds that one of the strongest factors driving appeal and growth in the craft segment is its local roots. The idea of local continues to be an important topic in craft beer, she says. From a Nielsen survey conducted in February 2015, we asked consumers how important local was in their purchase decisions for beer, wine, and spirits. As it turns out, 44% of respondents said that local was important in their purchase decision for beer, and as expected, that was even higher among craft beer drinkers, with over half, 52%, saying local was important in their decisions to purchase beer. Now that we've read this passage, let's have a look at turning this segment into a paraphrase. As you can see in this paraphrase, we've parsed out the two main ideas of flavor profiles and a product's local roots. So we can paraphrase and capture the two ideas in a sentence like this. According to the author, 2015, the craft beer consumer is drawn to a variety of flavor profiles and the product's local roots. Brackets, pages 33 to 34. This paraphrase does a couple of things. In addition to writing in our own words, we've captured the main ideas and we've structured our paraphrase so that it adds a little variety to our writing in the sense that the in-text citation components are broken up so that our writing is a little more fluid and flowing. Now we've reached close to the end of today's presentation on spotting the plagiarism and thinking about how to paraphrase well. So now it's your turn. Let's play to win big. Let's play the library contestant. To do so, you can win a prize. The prize is this one-of-a-kind I Love Libraries button. And if you win the prize, you can send me an email with your mailing address and the correct answer to the question that is coming up, and I'll get that button to you in the mail. Now, here is your question, your skill testing question on the presentation that we've just completed. Here it is. In the first example of plagiarism, what was the name of the information source the student was attempting to use? Fill in the answer, send me an email with your mailing address, and I'll get that button to you straight away. Before I close today's session, maybe you'd like to consider a couple other videos I've created, including a review of the library collection in detail, and also another video that I've put together, peer review, finding and using scholarly articles. These are available on my YouTube channel. Here is one example. And away we go, investigating peer review. Well, perhaps that'll be another day. Once again, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon.